Good morning, my loves. I wanted to come on really quickly and share with you something really magical that's been happening for me over the past few weeks. But before I do that, let me just say it's Friday, the 10th of January here in Sydney, Australia. And so I want to wish you a really, really extraordinary, happy, full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer today. May your gateway to your new reality be extraordinary, moving and transitioning from the last decade into the new one. Okay, so as you are well aware, Australia's been going through quite a challenging time over the last few weeks. Certainly our summer has been, well, a summer that has caught the attention of the world. We all know the challenges, the difficulties, the trauma, the grief around what's happening on the ground with the bushfires here in Australia. How this land is burning like crazy, and how something really extraordinary is coming out of all of this, meaning that where our politicians and the old paradigm, the old structure is letting us down, the energy balancing that out is people, is this really extraordinary thing of how people are remembering their hearts, and they're coming into union and helping each other out. I mean, the world has been praying for this land. The world is holding the entire island in its sacred heart, and it's really wonderful. There's a release that wants to come up and out as I talk about this. Oh, wow. So, from a more spiritual, higher perspective, this whole burning away of the old is actually symbolic and literal of burning, of closing, those old karmic cycles. This land, of course, the modern version of Australia, the last 200 odd years, is on the foundations of so much fear and so much pain. The colonization, the terrible trauma that the Indigenous people went through as a direct result of colonization, but also the people that were sent to this land from, the mother country, from Britain, way back when, as a form of punishment, as a form of persecution and judgment, so that the foundations that this modern Australia is built on is really traumatic. There's a lot of trauma in this land. And so what Mother Nature and Gaia have been speaking to me about is that part of this burning away is the burning away and the closing cycles of this energy, of this karmic energy, so that we can transform and set an example of a new world, a new way of being, starting at the base chakra of Gaia, which is Australia. To give you a little bit of background, I'm actually an immigrant, as many of you may know. I was not born and raised in Australia, but for whatever reason, and maybe because of that, I am called to support the land and Mother Nature in this transition. So I'm sharing this with you. My son and I will go to Botany Bay. Of course, the first fleet, the first ships landed in Botany Bay from Britain. So there is that energy that from the old, you know, a British I want to say authority, isn't that interesting? Was first bought and kind of established in Botany Bay, which is now Sydney. So I'm called to go and do a healing ceremony in Botany Bay. There are several beaches along the bay there. I used to live not far from there, so I know the area quite well. And I'm going to be in the area next week on Tuesday, Sydney time. My son and I will go probably to Kiama Beach around 10:30 in the morning, and we will, take some things with us as guided, and do a bit of a releasing and healing ceremony, a forgiveness ceremony for, as guided by, spirit, by, divine wisdom, to help heal that space, to close some of those karmic cycles, to just help support this land with that transition. I am also guided to do an event. So, one of two things could happen. If this aspect of the healing process resonates with you and your heart, to help this actual land and this country release the trauma of the old and past lifetimes of this land, help support and heal the trauma inflicted upon Indigenous wisdom and its people, then you can join me in two ways. I'm probably going to do a Facebook Live thing as I'm doing the ceremony. So if you're somewhere else in the world, you can tune in and join Ronan and I in this. Or alternatively, if you have the time and you have the heart guidance, come along and you can join us on the beach, or you don't even have to join us, just be there, and offer, maybe just hold space and offer some of that beautiful heart energy to the process. That's all. So I wanted to just go live really quickly, 10 minutes, and explain to you about what I'm guided to do, which aspect of this shift, of this transition I am asked to work with, and what I'm going to do about it. Of course, I send lots of love and blessings to on the ground, to all the fireys and all the volunteers and all the families that are sacrificing so much to deal with these fires, and also many blessings to those beautiful souls in that reincarnated as animals, as well as the energy of plants and bush and trees and all of that sort of stuff, that have been sacrificed in order for this to, but the rebirth is already here. The rebirth process has already started, and it's really quite extraordinary, the response that this is having and will continue to have. Permanent change I'm talking about in the world, in this country, moving forward. This is not a thing that we forget, and this is most certainly not the kind of unity that can be distracted and while we go back to the old. These are permanent changes on the planet, in the world. All right, my loves, I'm going to finish there, and if you follow me on Facebook, I will be sharing an event for this. So, all right, my loves, lots of love. Bye.